I'm shaving it off. I'm getting that razor and I'm doing it.
This feels so strange. Ugh.
Growing up, always had like a huge full head of hair, you know, really long, left school. And when I first started going to university, I would sort of notice like quite a bit of hair falling out like on the pillows and stuff like that. So I was going to my cousin's wedding in Austria. You know, my sister had been on me, oh, you know, you need to get a haircut before you go to the wedding. Youngish woman cutting my hair, and you know, she's going through it and just says, your dad's gone bald, has he? And I was like, no, my dad's got a full head of hair. That was probably like the first alarm bell, I would say. We had a boys' trip to Miami. Sort of started noticing it a bit more, and I like kept on wearing a cap. We were at a bar, and we always have a laugh and a joke. And we got some girls over, and they were like, "Oh, guess our ages." And then they're like, "Oh, guess who's the oldest?" And like they all pointed to me.
Oh, really?
And I had the cap on, and I was sort of a bit of the brunt of the jokes, I'd say, for the whole trip. And it all sort of kicked off. One of the guys, like, we were on the dance floor, and like he threw my hat away, and I hated that so much. I got pretty angry and stuff like that, and it was always gone down as like Capgate within our little group.
Oh, really?
We're now heading into 2021. I'm back in Guyana. You know, I meet a very nice Guyanese girl, and we start dating, and you know, she would come over and things like that, and she would start like running her hands through my hair, and she would be like, "Oh wow, your hair is so nice and soft," and I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." And you know, she'd be running her hands through it, and then as soon as she'd get towards the back or like more towards the top of my head, I would maybe like move her hand away or change the subject. So then I really started noticing it. It was probably the wedding season of that year where it really started to hit home. One of my best mates was getting married in Greece. It was this beautiful, beautiful place in the Peloponnese. Got there, I think we were a bit later than other people. I go down to the pool, I've got my trunks on, I got my cap on. I jump in the pool, and everyone was like, "Wow, Tom, it's really starting to go."
Oh, really?
And I was like, yeah, like, oh, but it's so good to see everyone and stuff like that. So I moved to America in August of that year, and started going on a few dates. That's where I like really noticed it. Like, it was really going. I'd be like first into the restaurant, and I'd make sure I'd be sitting in the right position, and then never would want them to sort of see the back of my head. I was like, 1st of January, after I drive back from Plymouth, I'm shaving it off. I'm getting that razor and I'm doing it.
Wow. This is so liberating. Oh, it feels so weird. This feels so strange. Ugh. This feels so strange. Oh, this feels weird. Looks good. It's not there yet. Wow! Oh. Wow. absolutely love it.
It's time for it to all come off, and I feel fantastic with it, honestly.
Was that an instant thing?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
it was.
I mean, when I first did it, there's two people I called. So I called Mike, my friend, who's part of my Plymouth lads, who's bald, and he did it much earlier than me, and he's actually younger than me. And I just called him. I said, "I've done it," and he said, "What have you done?" I was like, "I've shaved it off, and I feel amazing." And then I think the next thing I did was message you.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't be here without the channel. And I'm not exaggerating there. It's the absolute truth.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to let you know. And I know we'd spoken about it before. I wasn't one of the subscribers. I was one that would open YouTube, dip into it, and
Right.
be there watching it for 2-3 hours, and then do the same thing the next week. And I just encourage guys to do it. I left it too long, and I'm sure some of the pictures you're going to be showing, you can see that as well. And then I didn't go back to America for a couple of days, and I was running around London through Chiswick, noticing myself in shop windows, like, wow, I don't have any hair anymore. And I remember jumping on the first couple of Zoom calls with my colleagues in America because I was working remotely for a few days. And they were like, I was like, yep, going to have to tell you something this year. I've decided to shave my hair off.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, okay, great. And then when I went into the office, I think it was that Thursday. So after I flew back, I was like, oh, wow, that's different, And it was, I hadn't told anyone I was going to do it. And then after a couple of days, everyone just accepts it and thinks, wow, that's the new you. And, luckily I've had lots of positive comments, This is the first time I've come back since Christmas, since January.
Right.
And
so you've been able to see more people.
Exactly. And when I was at my mate's pub, someone I know reasonably well, he said, yes, Fraser sent us a picture of you. And you're like, you look $1 million. It looks so different. And he's going as well. And I'm like, my only advice is, mate, just don't keep it too long.
Yeah. Do you feel more comfortable this time, like coming back, presenting yourself in front of people? You don't feel like you're kind of, like you're not holding anything back, and is that how it feels? What is exact specifically, do you think, that the change, like the difference that you noticed?
Like the confidence. I think we'd spoken about like a tick or whatever. Like as soon as the camera was coming out, it was running my hands through my head. And now sometimes the camera comes out and I still do it. I'm like, what am I doing? There's nothing to move.
Yeah.
I think certainly at the start, when I first went back to America, it was quite interesting because you're sort of telling people, oh, I've shaved my hair, and then they could see it. And then when I've come back here, I haven't actually been saying anything. My mother and my godmother came and saw me, and I didn't say anything to her, and she just said, Tom, you're looking so well, you're looking great.
Yeah.
And I didn't say, I've shaved my head, and it's pretty obvious I've shaved my head.
Yeah.
So it was that difference and that confidence and just owning it and not being worried about something.
Yeah.